Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
What's going on? I am Scoots Bronson.
And I am S. Foster, and this is Viewers Anonymous, man. How we feeling, man?
Man, feeling good, feeling great, man. You know what I'm saying? Excited about this pod. You know what I'm saying? This episode is very special. You know what I'm saying? We're doing a double feature. For those who have been catching on, man, we've been doing a lot of movie theater innuendos. You know what I'm saying? Trying to keep the theme of the podcast right. You know what I'm saying? We changed up the hype into the trailer, you know what I'm saying? So this episode we're doing the double feature. We're talking about two movies that's kind of similar. They got a little bit of something to do with each other, not necessarily in the plots, but they connected in some weird way. So, you know what I'm saying? I think this episode is gonna be super dope, man. How you holding up?
Hey, man, I got some unexpected inspiration, man. When I went to work Monday, and I get to strolling, man, and then my nephew hit me, and he was like, "Yo, look at this!" And my man Cuddy finally coming out with that Man on the Moon 3, boy. Like,
oh yeah, I seen you post that earlier.
Yo, boy, Friday can't get here soon enough, boy. I've been waiting. You know, Cuddy's my guy, man.
Yeah,
Cuddy's my guy, man.
For sure.
So
I know exactly how you feel.
Man, I am definitely looking forward to that, man. So that was some good news to start the week, man. So, you know,
the way you feel about Cuddy, bro, that's the way I feel about Wale. Like, I don't feel like Wale can do no wrong. Anytime this nigga makes a project, anytime this nigga makes a single, anything, like, bro, I instantly get to it. So I know exactly how you feel.
Oh yeah, man. So that was a nice way, man. Because like I told you earlier, man, before we started recording, but Monday was a bad work day, man. But when I seen that, that put a smile on my face, man. Because you know, he's one of those artists, man. He's like, you just really gotta be open. If you ain't open, you ain't gonna get it. You ain't gonna understand it. You're gonna think he crazy and all of that type shit. But like, if your
and you
mind,
said a key word. You said artist. Don't forget that. You said artist.
Yeah.
You ain't say rapper. You ain't say singer. Artist. Because that's exactly what he is. He, you know what I'm saying? He's a true creative, man. Like, we don't get a lot of those in the industry. You know what I'm saying? And we don't get a lot of those in our lifetime either. So, I mean, he come from that tree though. You know, him, Kanye. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Dame Dash, all them, man. They all creators. So, you know, for him to continue that, you know what I'm saying, legacy, even though it's not, you know what I'm saying, in the same vein, but for him to be fruit from that tree is, yeah, that's what's up.
Oh yeah. Like I always tell you, man. Like when it come to Cuddy, man, like Cuddy got me through like a lot of dark days, man. Like his music is so different. And then what I love about him is the fact of he didn't catch on no waves. He didn't do anything anybody else was doing. He knew. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he knew, like, this is gonna have a certain type of fan base. Like, everybody's not gonna fuck with me, but I'm gonna stay true to myself and put out the type of music that I want to put on. And the one thing about him, as soon as a Cuddy track come on, you know it's a Cuddy track. It don't sound like nothing else nobody doing. And I use this example all the time that we'll jump in the podcast. You remember that Good Music album that came out? What they call that album?
You talking about the one with Click on it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Cuddy was on that album 2 times. One time, all he had was a little, you know, he just said a little phrase. That's all it really was. But then he had another one where it was the song where he by himself.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Creepers. That was the one song that stood out. It didn't sound like nothing else on that album. Like, it completely sounded different from the jump. And that's Cuddy. So, anyway, I got on a little spill there.
Oh, before we move on, never forget that Kid Cudi was also a Need for Speed the movie.
Oh yeah, man, flying helicopter. This motherfucker was still he could steal anything.
Yeah.
He stole everything, dude.
Yeah, like, never forget.
But I would say though, Cudi though, man, in this acting game, like people don't realize he is a really, really good actor. I love the video he did, and a lot of people sleep on it because the song is different. He did a song for the new Fright Night movie. Well, the newer version, because you know it was a remake. Damn. So he did the remake. Well, he did a song for the remake Fright Night, and a song called "Nobody Believes Me," which is one of my favorite songs. But he did a video for "Nobody Believes Me," and he's acting in the video like he's like the killer in the video.
Yeah, because the new Fright Night was that's the one with Colin Farrell, ain't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, man. But he's a good actor, man. He's
oh yeah, he's
a talented dude, man.
A decent part in that Need for Speed movie. He's a damn good actor. That Need for Speed movie was trash.
It was. That movie was bad, man.
He did a great job though. He did a great job though.
He did a good job, man. So I'm proud of that dude, man. Can't wait till this to come out. But like you said, man, this is a special episode, man. This is our first double feature. Yep. These movies, like you said, they're similar to each other, and so we're gonna get into the first one, man. And like it's now that I haven't watched it in a couple of years, probably like 2 years, and I watched it, and I was like, I don't know if the humor that I've been watching lately has been like a little different.
Yeah.
But like, I felt like I didn't laugh as much as I used to. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But the movie that we're talking about, we're talking about Knocked Up right now.
Yes, sir.
Starring Seth Rogen, Katherine Heigl, Paul Rudd, Leslie Mann, Jason Segel, Jonah Hill, like. And then the wild thing is,
don't stop. It's a hell of a list. You got Kristen Wiig, Bill Hader, Ken Jeong, Craig Robinson, Adam Scott, Mo Collins. Shout out to Mo Collins. She used to be on Mad TV. That was my first time seeing her since Mad TV. But BJ Novak from The Office. Who else is in here?
Man, Judd Apatow kids are in this movie.
Yup. Judd Apatow's kids in here. They had Stormy Daniels in here. They had Nautica Thorne in here. Who else is in here? Jessica Alba made an appearance. Steve Carell made an appearance. Andy Dick made an appearance. James Franco was in here. I'm trying to think who else was in here. I think that maybe Eva Mendes was in here. Ryan Seacrest, Dax Shepard, like they made little appearances.
Yeah, that was just like because old girl Allison worked at E, so like a lot of those people were just like guest appearances, like because she was covering the red carpet type of shit.
Just to have those people, you know what I'm saying, be able to even, you know what I'm saying, like even show up is, you know what I'm saying, like for a Judd Apatow movie is pretty good.
I wonder, was it a situation where it was kind of like, I wonder, was there a real event going on?
And then they was
just like, they were just like, yo, like Judd Apatow, like, hey, I'm doing a movie over here, and so could y'all just come over here real quick? You know, Katherine Heigl, she's playing Allison Scott. You know what I'm saying? Just,
you know what I think they did, because I seen this happen one time. I forgot where I want to say it was maybe like Borat or something like that, but I seen this one time. So basically, what happened was they would take the actor, right, and he'd be on the red carpet as the character. People know who he is though, but he's on the red carpet at a real event on the red carpet as a character, and they're using that film. I mean, they're using that to record film basically. And they're telling people as they're walking up, like, hey, can you come do this spot real quick for this movie? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are coming up and, you know what I'm saying, like, doing it. So, I wonder if they had like Captain Hygo on the red carpet at an actual event. It was like, hey, you know what I'm saying, we making this movie. Could you come over real quick? I'm sure James Franco would have did it because that's his crew. But like, you know what I'm saying, like with Eva Mendes and Andy Dick and Dax and all them, like I wonder if they, you know what I'm saying, like did it that way.
Yeah, but James Franco's was different because he was in the Eve place. Him and what's your boy name? Carson Daly. Not Carson Daly. Damn, dude to work every fucking where. What's his name?
Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah, because Ryan Seacrest had a part where he was talking about Jessica Simpson, and and Allison was telling him all the fucking questions that he can't ask. And this motherfucker like, what the fuck I'm gonna ask her then? Like he was mad as fuck. He was like, I can't even ask her no fucking questions. And that shit was hilarious, dude. But the whole synopsis of the whole thing is like basically all it is like in a nutshell is, Ben and his friends, Jay, Jonah, Jason, all these type dudes, like they are just these stoner dudes who don't really want to work. And so they think that they're going to create this website where this is the dumbest website I ever heard of. They want to just give you like movies and they tell you when nudity is going to come, basically. It's like when you finally go see some titties or bush. And it's like, so that's their whole thing. It's like, we're going to create this site and we're going to make money. And so, other than that, all they do is watch movies and get high. And Allison, she works at E. And so she is celebrating a promotion, which that was the funniest fucking promotion I ever seen. The way that they put Kristen Wiig was a fucking weirdo in this movie, dude. Yeah. And so her and her sister is out celebrating, and her and Ben found each other. They smash, which is supposed to be a one-night stand. She gets pregnant. And so she hit him up to try to see if they could work out this situation. Whole bunch of shit happened in the middle. But at the end of the day, really the movie is just about really a one-night stand that they was going to try to see if they could form it into a relationship. But
it ended up turning into a pregnancy.
Like, dude, man, when that was that, man, this shit, like, it has, like, when I told you I didn't laugh as much as I did, because it was like, I think I found a lot more shit funny, but, like, there's some scenes that are just, like, the funniest fucking shit ever. It's like, I used to laugh at some of the smaller shit, but it's like, there's still some shit in this movie where it's just flat out hilarious. And, like, you just cannot stop laughing. Like, one of the parts, like, dude, fuck that. I'm getting people in it right off the jump. The minute you talked about this. Yeah. We talked about this. So there's a time where Debbie thinks Pete is cheating on her.
Man, so, you're talking about the funniest fucking scene in a movie. From the whole, not even just that moment, the whole sequence leading up to all of this shit. And the funny shit was them getting Ben involved in this shit. Like, Ben is totally against this shit. He don't want nothing to do with none of this shit. Hey, that shit was crazy, bro.
That shit was so crazy because, like, so Allison and Debbie's talking, and Debbie's like, I think he's cheating on me. And then so she ended up leaving work. Well, she's at work, and she called Ben. And she's like, Ben, what you doing? He's like, hey, you doing that much? And he's like, hey, I need you to come with me over to Debbie's house. She think Pete's cheating on her. He was like, he's not cheating on her. And then she's like, well, how do you know? How can you be so sure? He was like, oh, man, because Pete's a cool guy. He's just not cheating on her. And then and then all of a sudden he switched up. And he was like, well, Pete's awesome and Debbie's kind of an asshole. And he was like, well, it kind of makes sense that she is cheating on her. And so she's like, all right, well, just come with us. And we're going to see, Debbie seeing his emails and all this type of shit. He was like, I don't want to do that. She was like, well, why not? He was like, because that's fucked up. Like, I don't want to do that. So they go over to the house. And, like, so then Pete, they're all sitting at the table. And Pete's like, yo, I got to go see this band. They down in the valley and all this type of shit. And she was like, oh, so you going to go see a band right now? And he was like, yeah, the service is bad. You won't be able to call me. He was like, I'll call you. And then he was like, let me go take a shower. I don't want to sound, he said, I don't want to smell worse than the band. And then Debbie and everybody out looking at each other, and Ben is like, oh shit, this shit does sound kind of suspicious.
Yeah.
So these motherfuckers riding, and she pull up at this house. And then she was like, yo, you know, come on. He was like, yo,
she tracked his fucking phone, bro.
She tracked his phone
to track him.
And so he's like, oh, I don't want to do this. And then he walk in the house. He's like, Pete.
Hey, bro, you talking about an awkward fucking situation, bro. Like, that had to be awkward as shit.
Dude, it was so funny. So she's going upstairs because, you know, bedrooms are upstairs. So David's heading upstairs. And she was like, ain't nobody up there. And so then they get ready to leave, and then they hear people talking.
They hear noise, they hear noises.
This bitch opened the door. And this one, and he had, I wish I could remember who it was. So he yelled out a name, and then it was like, he's already been drafted. He was like, blah, 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 blah. And it was like, you know, Matsui. And then she was like, what the fuck is this? And then he looked up. He was like, oh, what are you doing here? It's a fantasy draft. She was like, what the fuck is this? And he was like, and then the dude said, hey man, we said no wives. And then like, so Pete jump up. And then the one guy said, don't let the door hit you in the vagina on the way out.
Hey man, listen, you talking about pure fucking like, if you ever seen a plot twist a day in your life, you never seen that shit coming. Nobody knew at any point in time that this motherfucker was going to be at a fantasy draft, a baseball fantasy draft, and his wife is thinking that he's cheating, bust in on him, and this motherfucker's in the middle of picking. You talking about fucking hilarious. Like, first off, it had to be super awkward for Ben, because Ben is like, he already don't want to be there. Then he only there because his baby mama there. He trying to make sure she cool. So then they going in there, they doing all this shit. He like, man, I told y'all, like, man, this motherfucker ain't cheating. Then boom, we find this motherfucker and he ain't doing shit but fantasy baseball. She had to feel stupid in the motherfucker.
But then that ain't even, to me, that ain't even the funniest part.
Yeah.
Like, the funniest part to me was when they was outside talking.
Oh, he said, I went to go see The Dark Knight by myself. It was like twice.
Like that motherfucker said, she was like, he was like, what, you thought I was cheating on you? And she was like, yeah. She was like, well, this is worse than cheating. He was like, how's this worse than cheating? And then she was like, so where did you go? She was like, so where did you go last week? He was like, I went to the movies. She's like, where'd you go see?
The Dark Knight.
I went to see Spider-Man 3. And then she said,
oh yeah, that's what it was. Spider-Man 3. She
said, well, who did you go with? He was like, by myself. And she was like, I like Spider-Man. I was like,
hey, bro.
Hey, Leslie, man, look, she don't get enough credit, dude. She fucking hilarious.
Hilarious, yes.
And she can play a bitch very well. Boy.
No, when she played in what's the movie with Ryan Reynolds and dude from Horrible Bosses, and they switched up because they peed in the fountain.
Peed in the fountain. Oh shit! What was that? Oh man, I'm not
sure. Is it called The Change Up or the? Oh my goodness.
She did. Well, Ryan Reynolds was in The Change Up.
Yeah, that's the movie that I'm talking about. But she played the other dude's wife, right? And and she was this is just a testament to just how funny she is. So she plays the other dude's wife, and they got kids and all that shit, right? So I guess in the movie they were trying to like he was trying to have sex with her because like his friend was looking at her like, man, you know, she hot. He was like, man, you don't be all over your wife or nothing like that, man. And then he was like, I mean, she's my wife, man. Like, yeah, she's beautiful, but you know, we make love. He was like, no way, dude. He was like, you gotta plow that, man, or some shit they was telling him. And then he was so when they switched bodies, you know what I'm saying, Ryan Reynolds' character, he geeked. He like, yeah, I finally get to fuck his wife. So he like, oh man, it's gonna be a time I never forget. So he getting all ready in the bed. He in the bed ready, and she take off her robe and she ass naked, and she go to the bathroom and take a shit. And then after she take the shit, she get in the shower or whatever, and that ruined his whole fucking mood.
I remember that shit.
It turned him off. So then I guess she came to the bed, but then when she came to the bed, she ain't had nothing sexy on. She had like some weak ass pajamas, and she had that like a cleanser mask on her face. So he looked at her like, "Oh hell no!" Like, he was totally turned off. So she was like, "You don't want to have sex?" He was like, "Nah, not tonight." He was like, "I'm just a little tired. Don't worry about it. Maybe tomorrow night." And then hold on, real quick. The funniest part, bro. She turned over and she laid down, and then she had her ass on him, and he said, don't you turn towards me. That shit was funny as fuck, bro.
Dude, she does that in this movie. Because you remember, Pete asked her, he was like, hey, so you want to have sex tonight? And then she was like, I'm kind of constipated. And then she was like, well, you still can if you want. Like, I don't want to now.
Yo, you know what? Paul Rudd, bro. Paul Rudd is another one that's super under fucking value in funny movie. From fucking 40-Year-Old Virgin to fucking Knocked Up to fucking what's the other one that there's in
This Is 40.
This Is 40 up when they was doing it, when they did their movie. This Is 40. And then what's the one with him and Sean what's his name? Sean Michael Scott or something like that, or Sean Scott James or something.
Sean Patrick Scott.
Sean Patrick. Yeah, the one that they did. What the fuck is that movie called? I can't believe I'm blanking on this fucking movie because they had to do the what's your name for Sturdy Wings. What is this movie called? Hold on. I got to find this movie, man.
I am not sure about that one. Not sure about that one.
Oh my God. I can't believe I'm blanking on this movie.
But I mean, we can't forget about him in the Anchorman movies.
Yeah, Anchorman, fucking hold on, wait a minute. What's the other one that I was just talking about? He was good in Ant-Man. He got another one called I Love You, Man. That was funny.
Oh man, Role Models.
Role Models, that's what I'm thinking of. Man, you talking about fucking hilarious. Man, that shit was
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. He was in that joint. That shit was fucking funny, but like, yeah, man, like I tell you a scene though that I like that's also Leslie Mann was in, her and Kathy Heigl. So they had so they went to the club the first time, and then the bouncer dude let them through. But then they went when Allison was pregnant and she walked up, and my man Craig Robinson is at the door, and then he stopped the motherfuckers. He was like, we in capacity. And then he was like, gonna have to stand in the back of the line. She was like, I'm not standing in the line. And then he let these two young girls in. He was like, I see y'all on the way out. And then and then he put the rope back up. She was like, what the fuck was that? And then he was like, that was nothing pretty much. And then she was like, and then she started calling this motherfucker a doorman.
Yeah.
She was like, doorman. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then she's telling him, you ain't got no power, you just a doorman all the time. So he pulled her ass to the side. And then he was like, you're right. He was like, I hate this fucking job. He was like, I got to sit here and pass judgment on people. He was like, man, he was like, I got to sit here and pass judgment on the people. He said, he told me I can only let 5% black people in. He said, so I got to hold 4 black people and a midget in the crowd.
Man, that motherfucker said, what I look like letting What you say? What I look like?
He said I can't let you. He said you old. He said you old. She pregnant. He's like, I can't have a bunch of old pregnant bitches walking around. He was like, man, that's bad parenting. He was like, why the fuck she here anyway?
Hey, bro, I'm talking about straight comedy, bro. You know, he another underrated comedic actor, Craig Robinson, bro. Like,
we're gonna get in him tomorrow on the next one, because he's in the next one too. Listen, but like, yo, that shit was so funny.
Man, that shit was fucking comedy, bro. The birthday party was funny. When they was all at the birthday party, when they was at the birthday party for the sister and the kids and shit. I think this is like when she right when they was about to break up, or they had just broke up or some shit like that, and they had to go to the birthday party. That shit was funny. The one part was funny too when they had first met. I think you had said something about it already. No, you didn't. You was talking about what they did when she was learning what he did for a living, and they was talking about the website. She was like, "This is what you guys do all day." That motherfucker had pink eye. And he was like, "You know how you catch pink eye, right?" Hey, bro. Listen, that shit was fucking.
No, it was
crazy,
so funny because when her first time meeting the roommates and shit, and so he was like, you know, you can sit down, let me go grab a shirt. And so they sitting there looking at. I recognized the movie. The movie was Carrie. No, Carrie. When they were doing this is another one. They were watching Wild Things. It was Wild Things. Yeah. So they were sitting there watching Wild Things, and it was the makeout scene in the fucking in the pool. And so they're sitting there watching that shit. And so then my man, Jay come out, and he was like, yo, I just shaved my shit. Nah. And then this Jonah Hill was like, yo, if I go in there, if I fucking pubic hair all over the damn thing, I'm going to kick your fucking ass. And she's looking at these motherfuckers like, all right. He was like, you ready to go? She was like, yeah. That
shit is funny as fuck.
She told, man, he told her what she did. He was like, he asked, did she know who some actor was, what actress? And she was like, I don't know who that is. He was like, do you know Meg Ryan? She's like, yeah. She was like, I love Meg Ryan. He was like, what we do is we'll sit around and we'll watch it, and we'll tell them like, oh, well, Meg Ryan, she's in this movie, and we see a bush in 1 hour and 47 seconds. Shit. And I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. Man, no, this is the funny part. So I know you noticed the shit, right? So they had a one night stand, right? Mm-hmm. And you land on the bed, ass naked, ass out and everything.
Yeah.
And she coming there, she trying to wake him up, and she got her foot hitting the bed. Not him, but she got the foot hitting the bed like, I just fucked this motherfucker. She didn't even want to touch him.
Totally disgusted. Yo, Ken Jeong, bro, playing the role that, of course, he was supposed to play. He was the doctor in this movie. That shit was funny. At the end, where they was having a baby and shit, he was. I don't know, man. Like his comedy is so different because like he takes it to certain places at certain times. Like in this one, he had like he was more serious, but he was being funny. Like he was actually doing, you know what I'm saying? Like he was doing comedy. He was being like, you know, like I'm trying to explain it like sarcastic in a way, but still like in a condescending way. But it was funny though. Like it's not a lot of people that can do that. You know what I'm saying? Like just the way that he was just talking to them, and like she was asking him questions and shit, and he was just like, yeah, so what? Like shit like that. Like Ken Jeong, he did his thing in the end too, like to play a doctor and him actually really being a doctor. Like I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, because he was like, because I remember, so her water, it wasn't that her water broke. She was having contractions or whatever. Because her sister Repeat had went to Legoland. And so she's at home by herself, and stomach start hurting and shit. So she called her doctor, and her fucking doctor, she can't get in touch with her doctor. So she called Ben, and so Ben, you know, he done got his shit together. He done got a job. He done got an apartment, all this type shit. So he goes over there because they had an argument earlier in the movie because Ben just wasn't taking shit serious and didn't read the baby books, all this type shit. So Ben come over and he calls somebody else and he gets the fucking number of the doctor. He finds out that the doctor is at a bar mitzvah in San Francisco. So he cusses this dude out. And so he starts talking to her. They go to the hospital, and then because he tell her that we just gonna have to find one that you already met with. So then that's when we get my man. And so then they were saying, "Oh, we got this plan, the way we wanted to do it this way, and all this type shit." And so she started having some problems with the baby. So then he comes in, and like one of the parts that I thought was funny, but it was kind of that dark, kind of sarcastic comedy, where they said, he said, we're going to have to pop the sack and give you some meds so we can speed up the process. And she was like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want no medicine and all this type of shit. And then he was like, do you want to deliver this baby? He's like, because I can leave.
That motherfucker is crazy, man.
Yeah, man. Like he was funny. Like I like the one doctor though, even though he was only in there for a quick minute. When they finally when they went together to go see if she was really pregnant. And then, like, she was up on the thing and had her legs open. But he was like, when he was talking to her, he was like, so you're Debbie's sister? He was like, yeah. She said, yeah, I'm Debbie's sister. And then he looked down at the thing.
He was like, I can see the resemblance.
Yeah. He was like, I can see.
Motherfucker's stupid, bro.
Hey, that's sexual harassment, motherfucker.
Yes,
you can't say no shit like that.
But the way this, like, just the way this movie is set up, bro, like, it's so funny because, like, you really get to see, you know what I'm saying, the transition of two people, you know what I'm saying, being in a certain predicament. Like, they have a one-night stand. Really, when you're supposed to have a one-night stand, end up having a one-night stand, get pregnant. They try to work it out. Don't work at first because, you know what I'm saying, one person feels a certain way about the other one. And then, you know what I'm saying, the other dude, you know what I'm saying, well, the dude kind of realizes that, you know, he got to change his life around because now he about to have a kid. He got to grow up. He can't sit around with his friends and wait for boobs to come on screen, you know what I'm saying, to come on the screen in movies no more. So now, you know what I'm saying, like you said, he turned around, get the job, try to do the right thing. And, you know what I'm saying, in the end, it all kind of just worked out. And I was like, yeah, the plot of the movie is a good one, but it's just the way that they put those moments in that movie, man, is, to me, Judd Apatow is one of those guys, like, I'm not going to say a master, but like he has this thing down to a science on when to bring in, you know what I'm saying, certain scenarios and certain moments to make the shit funny and, you know what I'm saying, to put it together and make it right. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just he just has great timing for a director and you know what I'm saying, and a producer for him to be able to make those moments happen. Like, he does a great job at, you know what I'm saying, making sure the story goes through, but at the same time keeping those moments to where, you know what I'm saying, he can still have those funny times in the movie.
Yeah, but this is what you got to remember, though. He got her to open up a little bit because remember when she was over at his crib and they was over at his crib and they was watching Carrie and she was like, boobs, boobs and bush. And so he was like, man, opening credits, you don't ever get that in opening credits. So he got her to kind of open up a little bit to his world. Yeah. But see, this is what happened, though. This is where he got fucked up because they was having sex and he was on that stupid shit, thinking that the damn baby could see his damn dick and all this shit. And so she got pissed off because, like, they had their whole little sexual thing going on. And so she didn't get off. So she's pissed off. So she's fucking asleep and this dude is getting damn stoned. And then an earthquake comes. And then she wakes up and she's by herself. And this motherfucker's getting high.
And he hiding with a bong.
Yeah, hiding with a bong and shit. And then she's like, she was like, how do we supposed to raise a kid? And you getting high all the time. And then like, and then the one crazy part, like, I mean, some people find this shit funny, but I don't think, like, when Jason Segel came out, he was butt ass naked. And then he was like, would anybody turn the gas off? And he's just outside holding his dick. And then he runs back.
He is always ass naked in a fucking movie, bro. He was ass naked in Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
He was butt ass naked in sex tape.
Now, okay, funny shit. Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Knocked Up, and Taken to the Greek are all connected.
Well, I never seen Taken to the Greek.
You never seen Taken? Oh my god, you talking about fucking hilarious? Hilarious is okay. So remember Forgetting Sarah? You seen Forgetting Sarah Marshall, right?
Love that movie. One of my favorite movies.
Do you remember Aldous Chapman? The rock star that Sarah Marshall was with.
Yeah.
Take him to the Greek is about him.
Oh, so he's Russell the same Brand. Character.
Russell Brand, yep. And then the dude in Sarah Marshall, Jason Segel, his character is also supposed to be the dude from Knocked Up.
Oh, okay. Now I see what you're saying. Yeah. Sarah Marshall was fucking funny as fuck.
Man, that shit was crazy.
Singing that song Inside of You. Oh my god.
Yo.
This motherfucker.
That's Russell Brand. That's Russell Brand. He sings that shit. That's one of his songs. Don't Take Him to the Greek.
Oh man, that shit was hilarious.
It's funny because they bring it up like on one of the E Hollywood stories or whatever that they do on him. They bring that up. They bring up him being the boyfriend of like TV star Sarah Marshall, and then like he end up getting with I forgot what her name is in the movie, but he ended up getting with another rock star chick. I mean, she's like a pop star or whatever. And they have a kid and shit like that. But the shit is crazy. Like they all three are connected though. And it's wild just how each one got like a weird ass story, but they keep them linked up. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, man. And like Kristen Wiig, like she had that different kind of comedy because like we only saw her because she was like probably like the secretary for the one guy. And then like when they found out that she was pregnant, and she was just sitting there like, she was like, we don't like secrets. Like, we keep a secret. She was like, I would hope we would be friends one day. Like she would talk like real low. And she would just say like this off the wall shit. And it was just like,
see, that's why I went into the cast. Like, you got to realize like this cast is not, I mean, it's like a fucking, like an all-star cast for real, bro. Like, and then like for a minute, I forgot what they had like a name for, like Paul Rudd, Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, and all like James Franco. I forgot what the name it was that they had for them. But it's like anytime they would do a movie, you would see at least like 4 or 5 of them in that movie.
Yeah.
Every movie that they were in, they were all, so like they always had a role for one of their friends in the movie. Like, this is the end. They were all in the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like Step Brothers, some of them was in the movie. Role Models, you know what I'm saying? Like all of these joints, you know what I'm saying? Like they just always make sure that they give each other, you know what I'm saying? Like some kind of supporting role in it. And I think that's super dope. Like the fact that they can, you know what I'm saying, keep each other alive like that in these movies. And it's worth damn near every penny to, you know what I'm saying, see them like shit. Pineapple Express, same thing. Like James Franco, Seth Rogen. I forgot Danny McBride, Craig Robinson. Like they all in that, you know what I'm saying? Like they all was in there doing their thing. And it's like, it just seemed like all these Judd Apatow movies, you know what I'm saying? You just seen slowly but surely, like they all was in these movies, and he just did like that Adam Sandler thing where he constantly used his friends and they made some great fucking movies.
I mean that they did, man. And they had a run, dude. Like, I mean, a run where it was just like hit after hit after hit. Now, to me, all of them went hits. Like they ended up being hits for the general population.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying. I picked my ones that I like. You know what I'm saying. It wasn't all of them, but I'm pretty sure all of them got their moments.
Uh-huh.
But like I seen Pineapple Express, it wasn't one of my favorites, and like
what?
I don't know if you get. Yeah, like it was cool, man. It was cool. Like it wasn't.
Oh man, you tripping?
It wasn't like. I mean, honestly, I don't think it's better than the two we're doing today.
No, Pineapple Express is definitely better than both of these.
I would disagree.
When Craig Robinson had them motherfuckers tied up in that little bunker in the thing, and then he was like, look, he said, you turn around, you use my belt buckle, and you rub it up. And he said, I'm gonna rub my belt buckle up against your hand. He said, I'm gonna get you out of here. He said, I promise you, man, I promise you. So then he rubbing his belt buckle up against his up against the ties on his hand. He was like, I'm gonna save you, man. I'm gonna save you, man. Oh yeah, we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna save you, man. Craig Robinson busted in like, hey man. He was like, these walls is fucking paper thin. I can hear everything y'all say. He said, yeah, I know. He said, you move to the left. He said, you cough one time, you go for the gun. You blink one time, don't nobody move. He said, look, man, if y'all want to fuck on your own time. He said, I don't give a fuck about none of this shit. He said, I'm just trying to get this shit over with so I can fucking go home. He was like, now shut the fuck up. He said, I swear I'm coming in here and I'm going to kill the fuck out you motherfuckers. Man, I'm talking about straight comedy, bro. Nah, Pineapple Express it trumps all that shit. Fucking man. Rosie Perez is in this movie. The dad from the fucking Brady Bunch is in this movie. Like, come on, bro.
I didn't think Pineapple Express was better than Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh, way better. The only thing that's, to me, the funniest part about Hot Tub Time Machine is right before they all get in the hot tub, and he was like, what are you doing? He was like, he said, I'm ordering pizza or doing something. He was like, that's not bonding. He was like, that's not how you fucking bond. Haven't you even seen Well Hogs? That's the only part. That's the only part I laughed at. Hot Tub Time Machine is funny, bro, but it ain't as funny as fucking, it don't beat Pineapple Express. It was,
I felt it was cool, man. And, but to get back to Knocked Up, man, like, I like when Pete and Ben went to Vegas.
Yeah.
And it was like,
they got high. They got high at Cirque du Soleil.
That shit was fucking funny.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. That shit was crazy. That
man.
Ben was tripping balls, bro.
This motherfucker had brought all them chairs in there. Ruth like, man, it's seven different kind of chairs here. He was like, what the fuck? He was like, why are those chairs there? He's like, get them out of here, man. That's creepy. Hey man, I was like,
that's what I'm saying, bro. Power Run is so fucking funny, bro. Just like if you heard a motherfucker say that just on a regular thing, that's not even funny. But just Power Run saying that, like, what the fuck? Like, get out, sit out there, man. It's creepy. That's funny in a motherfucker, bro.
Yeah, man, that shit was hilarious, man. It definitely has its scenes, man. It's a lot of rewatchable joints in there, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, and like you said about the plot, I mean, like, how often does that shit happen, dude? Like, motherfuckers just meet, they ain't even really like each other like that. They're just like, all right, I'm gonna smash this, and I never see them again, and then they end up being pregnant, and it's like, oh fuck, like, what are we gonna do? Like, I don't wanna get rid of it, and it's kind of like, all right.
So in real life, that movie would have been all the way up until the scene where she found out she was pregnant. That would have been an abortion movie. Hey, I'm trying to tell you, in real life, she'd got Plan B in the next scene.
Oh man, this motherfucker said it'd be an abortion movie.
That shit would be called The Abortion.
Oh man, that's too fucking funny. Nah, I like when Ben, cause you know when you had that one immature motherfucker that don't know how to talk to kids, and then like they was all sitting up at breakfast, and then they was like, "Who are you?" And Allison was like, "This is my boyfriend Ben," and the little kid was like, "I never met Ben," and then Ben was like, what's her name? Debbie's like, yeah, he drove over here from his house this morning. He drove over here from his house to come have breakfast with us. And then was like, yeah, he must like breakfast, huh? He's like, yeah, he really likes breakfast. And he drove from his house. She kept stressing that he drove from his house to come here this morning to have breakfast with us because he liked breakfast. And then Ben's like, I want to know something cool. Allison's gonna have a baby. Then he like, man, what the fuck? Like, man, what you doing? And then the kid like, where the babies come from? This motherfucker told some story about goddamn a baby getting busted through your head or some kind of fucking shit.
Man, look, no, he was talking about the scene from Aliens. That motherfucker is, listen, Seth Rogen, bro, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with him, but like the moments like that you just talking about where like shit is awkward and then he bust out like, yeah, Allison's gonna have a baby. Like, where the fuck does that come from, bro? Like, really? Like, where does that shit? That is like ultimate Seth Rogen. He does that in damn near every fucking movie.
Oh yeah, say the shit that you don't supposed to say at the absolute worst time.
And it's perfect timing every time.
That's just like when they was having the argument after she put his ass out in the car, and he come to the place, and then she's on the scale, and that motherfucker came in there and said something about her gaining weight, and she was like, "Don't tease me." And this mother said, he was like, "I'm talking." He said, "I'm not talking to Allison, but your hormones is a fucking bitch." He was like, "Not you, Allison, just your hormones."
Just your hormones. That shit was funny as a
fucking idiot, man. Oh man, and then he fucked it up and told her that it was a girl and she didn't want to know.
Oh man.
And then he walked out and gave her the middle finger. That shit was fucking funny. That shit was funny.
Yeah,
man.
like that was, I mean, and the funny shit is like Katherine Heigl, I'm not a real big fan of hers. Like usually when I see her in the movie, it's like a boring ass movie. So for her to be in this and for her to be entertaining was pretty good to me too. Like she really held her own in this shit too.
She did, but I would tell you this though. She played in Killers with Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
That shit had its moments in that too.
Ashton Kutcher made that movie. If it wasn't for Ashton Kutcher.
He did, but like what I'm saying is like I think that she has proven that she could do other shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because this next this next movie, I got a lot of shit to say about the co-star in that one. Like she is very fucking well-rounded. Like very, very well-rounded. 100%. But like Katherine Heigl find her way, like, because a lot of people don't. I mean, nobody really looks at her and be like, "Oh man, she's funny." Like she's not funny, but she's had her moments in this movie where she found a way to shine around a whole bunch of funny people.
Yeah.
And like so she had her moments because she also was playing the person that she was serious about her career. She was you know what I'm saying? It was like she didn't fit in with anybody, but like you said, she found a way to hold her own around a whole bunch of fucking comedians. She found a way to be funny with them. So, because she kind of played like, I don't want to call it. Nah, she wasn't no dumb.
She was like the straight man in the movie.
Yeah, it was like she just. It's hard to explain exactly what her character was because it was weird because it's like, so you work at E, and you're kind of like, I don't know, a producer maybe, but you don't have enough money to have your own crib.
Well, they lived in LA, so that's not like, to me at least, knowing what I know about LA, like, that's not far-fetched.
Yeah, and then like Pete had enough money to have a house with a whole separate motherfucking, what you call those things? I was about to say beach house, not a beach house. It's an
apartment, condo.
No, it wasn't a condo. Like what? Damn, what you call those little bitty houses that they be having?
Pool house.
Pool house. It was like kind of like a pool house. And so I mean, so it was basically like a house with them. I mean, yeah, I can see it. I can see now because it's like because you got your own space.
Yeah,
you know, bad boys like it got his own shower and I mean, it's really like a whole nother little house. So yeah, I get it. And then, like, dude, Pete had to have he had to be getting some serious bands because that was a nice ass crib. Because it didn't seem like Debbie worked.
Leslie did something too, didn't she?
It seems like Debbie didn't work though. It seemed like she was always doing shit with the kids. Because you remember when they was arguing after the whole scene about him going to go see Spider-Man and shit. Like she made it seem like I want to be alone sometimes too. And it seems like all she did was really take care of the kids. It didn't seem like she really did anything.
But I think she did something else too. Because I don't think she was just a housewife. But they never really got into it though. But I don't remember her just being a housewife.
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, you got some more on this one?
No.
All right, you introduce the next one then.
So the next one, you know what I'm saying, is basically damn near the same cast. Instead of Captain Heigl, we're gonna switch her out with the beautiful Elizabeth Banks. And this is about two friends who live together, grown up together, all that good shit, and they have an issue with their living arrangement. They don't have enough money to pay rent, so they decide to create a porno to sell and make money. And this movie is Zack and Miri Make a Porno. First off, let me say that this movie is fucking hilarious. This movie is wild. There's some shit in here that happens that you never would have thought happened. This actually made me look at porn different. So, basically, you know what I'm saying, they show Zack and Miri, you know what I'm saying, they show them doing their things. I think Miri was like a bartender or some shit like that, and she was in school.
No, she worked at the mall.
The mall?
Yeah, because think about it. You remember when the movie first started and they was getting ready, they drove to the mall and he dropped her off at the mall and then he drove to the coffee shop.
That's what I'm thinking, the coffee shop. He worked at the coffee shop. She worked at the mall. Okay. So he worked at the coffee shop. She worked at the mall. And they were like, they super best friends or whatever. They lived together and everything like that. And like I said, they run into some hard times and they're about to get evicted. So basically they got to find a way to come up with this money so they don't get evicted. And they get a group of friends together. Once they get a group of friends together, they go through all this thing, explain this big, you know what I'm saying, elaborate scheme of basically creating a homemade porno. And they're looking to shop the film around so everybody can make all this money and shit like that. Now, starting off, it was already wild because when they went to go see Craig Robinson, this nigga is basically navigating his hand through a dog's rear end for some.
No, dude, that's Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh, that is right. Listen.
Hold on.
I always get them confused.
No,
that scene, because they all in the same movie, so that's what
they are.
I forgot about that. That is Hot Tub Time Machine,
dude. But it was so. This is like one of the funniest parts of the fucking movie, dude. It's when Craig Robinson first introduced us. Like, so Zack pulled up at work, and then his boss was there talking to Craig Robinson, which is Delaney. And so he tells Delaney, he's like, I need you to come in for Black Friday. He was like, it's it's after Thanksgiving, so it's gonna be a lot of shoppers at the mall. And they was right across the street from the mall. And he was like, so you gonna ask him, he said, why you asking me to work on Black Friday? Because I'm black. And then he was like, no. And he was like, he said, well, what you want me to work on Nigga Tuesday? He was like, what is that? I never heard of that holiday. And then he was like, and then he said what? He said, you happy because you putting clothes on my nigga back babies and all this type shit? And he was like, man, I can't wait to get my settlement from the post office. He said, I'm going to be Oprah Winfrey rich. And he was like, and I'm going to be out this bitch. And then, and so then Zack come in. And so then dude flipped out on Zack too. Because Zack be late and all this type shit. And so then they get to talking. He was like, man, can you believe he asked me to work on Black Friday? He was like, oh, well, actually, that's my fault. He was like, I asked for that day off. And then he was like, what you got going on? He was like, oh, I'm just going to be, he said, I'm going to need time to recover because I'm going to be wasted for going to this class reunion thing.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so
that's
then,
what they're having a high school reunion.
And so then this customer come up, and the customer's like, can I get a coffee black? And he was like,
he was like in a minute,
he said,
white.
can you see me talking white?
Hey, bro, that motherfucker Craig Robinson, bro.
Hey, that shit was so funny. He said, "Could you see we talking white?" I was like, man, this
listen, that shit is hilarious.
Oh man, it was so fucking funny, dude. And like just small shit like that, like it ain't even. Because see, the thing is with comedy, it's like the timing. Like Craig Robinson has like this very unique timing of how he says shit. And it's like, even though it's small, like it ain't nothing big, it's just like, I just find shit like that funny. Like my man just came up, is like, can I get a coffee black? So, can you see us talking white?
No, listen, speaking of Craig Robinson, once again, in fucking Pineapple Express, that motherfucker, bro, he got hit in the face with the coffee pot when they was at Jane Franco's grandma's spot, right? So something happened and they killed two of their people. He was like, hey, man. He was like, how can you take it easy on that motherfucker? He killed Tom. He was like, Tom whole family and shit looking for him. He was like, man, I can't believe you would do some shit like that. He was like, yeah, okay. He killed Tom. He'll kill. He was like, yeah, he killed Tom. I was right there. I synced it. That shit had me fucking rolling, bro. That shit had me crying, bro. You talking about funny? I'm like, that motherfucker is hilarious, bro.
Like, to be honest, like, dude, like, with every scene he was in, he stole that shit in this damn movie. He stole it every single time. And then we get the scene, right? We get the scene. So, hold on.
You talking about the first scene?
Okay, now I need you
that disgusted everybody.
I need you to answer something for me. All right. Now, I'm gonna lead up to it, but I need to know an answer to this fucking question. Mm-hmm. So Zack and Miri is talking at the coffee shop, and she's trying on these different outfits. And so then these two dudes are sitting there, and she's changing, and she got granny panties on, right? So these motherfuckers are filming her. And then Zack seen what they was doing, and then Zack threw his ass in the thing and all this type of shit. So he tells them to get out of there and all this type of shit. So they ended up going to the fucking what you call it, damn shit, to the class reunion. No, a lot of shit happened between there. Like, they fucking water got shut off, and you know what I'm saying, they needed to get this thing. Then they were sitting in the car, and she was like, aren't we, she's like, even though we are not really doing well in life and all this type of shit, she was like, we better than these people, right? And he was like, no, we're not. And then she said, well, am I prettier since I was in high school? He was like, nah, you look pretty much the same. And then so she's looking for compliments. He ain't giving her none of them.
He ain't giving her shit.
Nothing. And so he was like, great pep talk. You ready to go? And so then they get there, and he's trying to fuck the very first girl that he realized. Mm-hmm. I mean, the very first girl that he recognized from school. So then they go in there, and so then, because she had this nickname, because her last name is Linky, so people used to call her Stinky Linky. And her whole objective was she wanted to fuck this damn dude, Bobby Long. Like,
wasn't he like the football star or some shit like that?
Yeah, he was like the quarterback dude. So her whole objective was she wanted to fuck Bobby Long, right? So then she gets to the fucking party, and so they're up in there, and so she see Bobby Long. She goes up to him, and then no, dude,
and he tore her the fuck up.
Dude, it was so fucking funny. He said, he had said something. I think like she spilled something or something like that. And he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." She's like, "Don't be sorry, just fuck me." And so while this shit is going on, they go back to Zack. Zack recognized the girl, and he was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And she's pissed off because she see her husband flirting with this damn girl that used to be a cheerleader in school. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, "Oh man," he was like, "Why don't you do something to get even?" She was like, "I don't want to get even." She said, "I'd rather take a step ahead." And then he was like, "You want to jerk me off in the bathroom?" I'm in the girl's locker room. So she was like, "All right, be quick." So she jacks him off. He comes out. And so then he goes up to this dude, and he's just sitting there. And so he gets a beer. He's like, "Look at my friend over there looking like a clown." And then he looked at him, and he's like, the dude looked at him and was like, "Yeah, he's like, I didn't go to the school." And this person is being played by Justin Long. And so then he asked him who he is. He was like, "I'm Brandon." He was like, "I'm here with Bobby Long." And he was like, "That's who my friend is looking like." He was like, "That's my friend that's trying to get with him, looking like Hannah Montana." And I was like, shit. So then he's like, "So what do you do?" He was like, "I work in the film industry." He's like, "Oh yeah, any movies I recognize?" And then he was like, he said, "I do movies." He said with all dude cast. He was like,
"Yeah."
He was like, "What do you mean, like this movie?" He was like, "No." He said, "Yeah, like that movie, but with less girls." He was like, "As a matter of fact, there's no girls." And then he's like, "I'm not trying to be rude," but he was like, "But it sounds like you're saying," because he asked him about some name of the movie. He was like, "I'm more in movies like, Bob and Jim go balls deep in the ass or some fucking shit." And then he's like, "So are you like a gay porn star?" He's like, "Guilty as charged." And he was like,
"No, yes, Justin Long, bro. He is also one of those ones, bro, when you talking about can be funny as hell in the movie. When he was in Dodgeball, hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah. And so they got to give him his props too.
Okay, so I say all that to say this. So then, let me finish. So then they all four get up in the same spot, and he was like, "So Miri, this is Brandon, Bobby's boyfriend." And so she's like all fucking fucked up, right? So this is my thing. All right, now they went to the bar, and when they was talking about the little thing, she was talking about everybody has those period panties and all this type shit. Uh-huh. So she's wearing these fucking granny panties. She's wearing the granny panties because supposedly she's on a period. Because why else would she wear them unless she on a period? So you gonna fuck Bobby Long on your period?
Well, don't forget that they ain't had any kind of money either though. So that's all she probably had was granny panties.
But why would she call them period panties?
Because that's what I don't know. That's just like another name for them.
Man, I was sitting there watching that shit, and I was like, I wonder was this motherfucker on her period? And she's like, I don't give a fuck.
I don't think that would have been the case because that would have been too. I'm assuming they would have made it like too embarrassing for her to do something like that. But man, that's funny though, bro. I forgot Justin Long was in this fucking movie, bro.
But him as Brandon was hilarious.
That they was in there talking comedy.
They was in there talking, they was arguing, and Zack sitting there like, they argue just like us, like we do. Like, what the fuck is you talking about?
No, listen, Justin Long, bro. I forgot what the movie is. I think it's is it The Devil Wears Prada or something like that?
No,
where he the secretary?
That's The Breakup.
The Breakup.
That's The Breakup. Bro,
you talking about fucking hilarious? Him being the gay dude at the secretary desk?
Yes.
Comedy, bro.
Yes.
Comedy. I'm talking about when he did something and she came out and started yelling at him.
He had that look on his face.
He was just like, the fuck? Yeah, that motherfucker is comedy, bro.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And like this is the shit that tripped me out. So they were sitting there and they were saying that so they go back home after the thing and their lights get shut off. So they go to the bar. And so they're at the bar and she's like, it's getting to those times where you're gonna do something crazy shit. He was like, what you mean? She's like, either start having sex for money or getting a porno. And so then he's like, that's it. She's like, what, you got an idea? He was like, yeah, let's make a porno movie. And then she's like, how we gonna make a porno movie? And then he was like, Brandon said he make $100,000 a year by making these porno movies and and all this type of shit. So she was like, if it's that easy, why everybody gonna do it? And he's like, because everybody else had dignity. He was like, Yeah. And so they're sitting there like, so he was like, so we go, make this porno. All right, so they go to Craig Robinson. They go to Delaney. Delaney's walking in the mall. He's all because he was talking about at the beginning of the movie about buying a flat screen TV. He's like, man, I'm getting a flat screen TV. So he got all this money, and so Zack pitches his idea to Delaney. He was like, man, you could be the producer. He was like, what ought the producer do? He's like, well, they fund the money and they get to do in the casting. He was like, so do I get to see a titty? He was like, man, you get to see all the titties. He was like, man, I've been seeing my wife old busted ass titties for all this time. He was like, that's what got him in because he was going to be able to see some damn titties.
And his wife was Tisha Campbell.
Dude, I was going to get there. Man, this motherfucker gave all his money. His whole dreams of his damn flat screen TV that he's been talking about for days.
For some titties.
All out the window to see some damn titties. And so this one, his role is so very fucking important. And then his money really went down the drain because they had went to this one guy and they rented him the storage space. So these motherfuckers, they go and do the damn pre-shooting type of thing because they came up with the name of it was off of Star Wars. What was the fucking name of it?
Star Wars or something like that.
Some shit like that. And so they doing that whole little thing, and then the one part that was so fucking crazy, dude, was the one dude was the robot, and then they opened up the thing, and it had a ball sack hanging.
Yeah. Man, fuck all that, bro. The wildest scene in this movie is the anal scene.
Oh man.
Yo. That shit was fucking crazy. So they get to the point to where they shooting the scene or whatever. They got the one dude, wasn't it Jay from Jay and Silent Bob?
Yeah, that's Lester.
Yeah, so he doing the anal scene with the old girl or whatever. So he, he doing this thing, he up in her, he digging her out or whatever. And I forgot what stopped them. Something had stopped them and distracted them from, I think somebody was trying to come into the coffee shop or some shit like that.
No. That's a whole nother scene. But hold up, boy, you can't bring it up without skipping something. When that motherfucker came in there, because Lester was banging old girl, right? Because that was the first scene. And so then all of a sudden, this fucking guy just walks in, right? He's drunk as fuck. And so he comes in, he was like, nice kitty. And it was a little dog. This motherfucker said kitty. Right. So he said, y'all see the game? He's like, that Roethlisberger, chug him, hug him, football. These motherfuckers butt ass naked.
Bro,
butt ass naked fucking. Oh, and this motherfucker don't know this shit.
So
he's drunk as fuck.
So drunk, he don't realize the goddamn thing.
This motherfucker said, he was like, chuck him. I forget what he said, but it was a football. And I was like, oh man.
That shit was crazy, bro.
Now he was fucking, but this was a different scene. Cause the girl said something about Zack and Miri had a fight. Zack and Miri had a fight because she found out that he was fucking the other girl, the fuck that girl name was, Stacy. So she found out that he had a fucking scene with Stacy, and no. I'm lying. So they got their power turned back on. Like the whole crew got together because they was like they got tired of them taking showers at their houses and all that type shit. And so Stacy was asking Miri about, are you because that was after Zack and Miri had sex for the first time. And
no, they didn't. They had fake sex.
No, that was they had the scene. Because remember they did.
No, I said the first time. Yeah, the first time they had fake sex. This you talking about after the second one when they actually did it?
Yeah, on top of the
beans,
things,
coffee beans,
on top of the beans. And so then they were celebrating over at their house because they got their lights turned on. And so so Stacy was talking to Miri about like how you feel about Zack because it seemed like there was some chemistry there. And she was like, oh, well, we're not together and all this type of shit. So she was like, so you don't mind if I, go talk to Zack or whatever? And she's like, oh, yeah, that's fine. Because she was trying to put it on Zack. And so then she goes and whispers something in Zack's ear. And then they go to the bedroom and Miri's like mad as fuck. She was like, so you really going to go back there and fuck her after what happened today? So when they came in, like Lester was supposed to be doing Miri, and they was arguing, and so Zack ended up trying to like get with her, tried to say that he loved her and all this type shit, and then she's like, oh, why you acting like this? It was just sex. So Zack storms out, and that's when you can that's what happened. That's why they stopped.
Yeah. Okay. So the tension is in the room now. Everybody stopped. They trying to figure out what's going on with Zack, and dude pulls out, and the cameraman is laying up under them, getting some weird ass angle, which we all know that you don't have to lay up under them for the angle, but he's laying up under them anyway, and this nigga gets an anal slushy,
dude, and that ain't even the craziest part. The craziest part was Craig Robinson. And dude with shit all over his face, all over his shirt and everything. And he sees Zack pulling off. He said, man, you see this? He said, can you believe this shit? And he looked at him like, man, can you believe this shit? This motherfucker covered in shit.
Man. Pure comedy.
Dude, that shit was too fucking funny. This motherfucker is covered in shit. And he had the nerve to say, can you believe this shit? He said, no, can you believe this shit? Dude. And then I like when they were doing auditions. And so this is one of those small things that only Craig Robinson can do. So they asked the girl, did she have any not perfect, but any special skills? So she's like, yeah. So she stand up, take her panties off, sit down, start shaking up this bottle of bubbles, and then she put the bubbles down by her pussy.
It started blowing bubbles.
Then start blowing bubbles. And then they was like, that's a skill. And then he said, Craig Robinson says, call her Bubbles.
That nigga goofy, man.
Oh man, but just the way he just be adding in his small little shit, like just that scene, like we sit here, and then he just all of a sudden said, and he had the smile on his face, like we call her Bubbles. That shit was hilarious. But man, the funniest part was when Tisha Campbell finally did come in.
Oh
so, man, they go home. Well, they go to Delaney's house. And so he was like, she was like, who the hell is this white boy? And then he was like, and she's like, you got one white boy down in the basement, then you bringing in another white boy. And then she was like, I could be in here naked. He was like, man, don't nobody want to see them busted ass titties. And then she said, hey, white boy. And he looked at her. She was like, you'll fuck me, right? And then he looked at Delaney, and then he was like, I don't know what to say. And he was like, man, just go downstairs. Hey, man, that shit was so fucking funny.
That That shit wild, bro.
He said, man, what if they wanted to rape me or something? Like, man, nobody want to rape your ass. That shit was so fucking funny, but I was like, oh man. And then but Craig Robinson, and then he had the nerve to name the fucking production company Nigga Rich Productions.
Nigga Rich.
Oh man, he is so stupid, but oh man. He, like I said, every scene he was in, dude, he stole it.
He tore that shit up.
Now, him and Tisha Campbell, but they battled it out though, because that was a good husband-wife battle, boy. Because she was coming with it, boy. Like, I did not expect, like, all that time when he was talking shit about his wife, that shit ended up being damn Tisha Campbell.
But see, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, that's once again, man. Like, now this movie wasn't a Judd Apatow film. This movie was actually written and directed by Kevin Smith. And if you don't know who Kevin Smith is, if you ever seen Jay and Silent Bob, Kevin Smith is basically Silent Bob. And Kevin Smith is, he doesn't really do comedy, but he does these, like, it ain't even lectures. He kind of does these, like, talks, like, you know what I'm saying, at stand-up places around, you know what I'm saying, the country. He goes on tour and he, you know what I'm saying, he basically gives, like, these, I don't even want to say inspirational speeches. I just say talks. You just get these talks, and he talks about, you know what I'm saying, him growing up and him coming up, you know what I'm saying, and basically just creating a lane for himself. If you know anything about Kevin Smith, you know, like, he's a super nerd. He had a TV show on AMC called, like, Comic Book Man. He created the Jay and Silent Bob movies. I believe he created Dogma. If anybody knows what Dogma is, that's the one with Chris Rock. What's his name? I might say Brad Pitt, not Brad Pitt. Dude was in Jason Bourne, Matt Damon, and a bunch of other people. But it was a good movie. And I believe he created Clerks. I think he created Clerks or he helped write Clerks. But 1 and 2, you know what I'm saying? Like, he has a long history of writing stuff. Kevin Smith is a very funny dude, man. He's made some cameos in some movies. Like, he usually make cameos in, like, little corny, low budget movies or whatever. But it's just, you know, it's just another testament of, you know what I'm saying, being around those kind of guys. That's why the Lester dude was in the movie, the dude that played Jay. That's why he was in the movie, because it's a Kevin Smith movie. And he always makes sure he look out for Jay in these movies. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just two great movies, man. Like I said, the same cast. That's what they were calling. They were calling them the new Rat Pack. That's the nickname that I was thinking of. But they're talking about Paul Rudd, Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill, Danny McBride, James Franco, Steve Carell. It was a couple other people too. I think his name is Jay Bruchel or something like that. Craig Robinson, Jason Segel, and it's somebody else that said it. They were calling them the new Rat Pack, because it's like every time they would do a movie, everybody would be in that motherfucking movie. Like, I don't care what kind of movie it was. Everybody had something to do with that movie. And I think it was just dope that they created, like, that Adam Sandler vibe where, you know what I'm saying, they would always add each other in their own, you know what I'm saying, in those films and keep each other, you know what I'm saying, basically working. Like, really, like you said, in that time span, man, like, they went on a nice little run. But if you think about it, like, those dudes made a lot of money in that small little amount of time. And they had some very profound and amazing roles in that time too. Like, for them to be able to come up with those concepts and come up with those movies and do all of this amazing work, and then on top of that, like, constantly get a movie back to back to back to back, like, that's not normal in Hollywood. We really don't see that a lot. Like, we talked about it, I think, when we did the Denzel episode about how, not the Denzel episode, the Samuel L. episode, about how it's hard for people to, you know what I'm saying, like, get jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like, that job is going to last them until their next audition breaks, until they get the next audition. So, you know, for them to be able to keep, making sure that they putting checks in each other's pockets and making sure that they all got work at the same time, like, I think that's super dope, man.
Yeah, man, and also another person, man, I wanted to speak on was Elizabeth Banks, man. Like,
yeah,
she's one of those ones, man, that's very underrated, man, and she also can be she is so well-rounded, dude, and like we seen her in something similar like this when she was in the 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? When she played like that little horny motherfucker that just wanted to fuck every damn body.
Uh-huh.
But like that, like even though she was only in that movie for a minute, but she was funny. You know what I'm saying? And like, so she can be funny and being and stuff like that, and like definitely maybe, and you know what I'm saying, and role models and shit like that. But she also can do the serious shit like The Uninvited. You know what I'm saying? She was in Hunger Games, Man on the Ledge. You know what I'm saying? She was a cop in that movie. You know what I'm saying? Like she just able to do to be able to flip and be that serious actress, but also she could be funny as fucking shit. Cause because the thing is, like, she's like that goofy funny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like she's able to find her pocket. And like,
and that's
like
that's not easy to do.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Because it's the timing and then the presentation or delivery of it, the timing and delivery of it is not an easy thing to do. Like, because a lot of people don't realize, like, you could bomb in a movie. If you're trying to be funny or you're trying to make a joke or whatever, you can really bomb in the movie, and that sometimes it'll make the movie a lot worse than what the movie really is.
Yeah, man, and like for her to have to play the best friend and to be able to find her own pocket to be funny in these scenes, to be beside Seth Rogen in almost every scene in this movie, and find a way to make people laugh at you and not Seth Rogen, like that's a hard thing to do. Especially at those times, because Knocked Up was 97, and I believe that not 97, 2007. And this movie was, I believe, it was 2008. I believe that was back to back. Yeah, that was back to back. So Seth Rogen coming off of Knocked Up, jumping in and doing Zack and Miri, and all right, man, not Zack. But Seth Rogen, to be able to have a sex scene with Katherine Heigl, and then have a sex scene
with Elizabeth
Banks.
Come on, man.
Man, he's winning. He winning in life, man. He was winning. He's winning.
Not even that. He had the hot young girl in Pineapple Express. Yeah.
Seth winning out here. But I just wanted to give Elizabeth her little segment, man, because she was really, really funny. But like I said, she can hit you with the serious shit as well. Because the one thing that was funny when she told him to get the when the water got shut off and she was like, "What's up with the water?" He was like, "They shut it off." It was like, "Well, give me some water out the toilet." He opened up the toilet and said, "There's poo in there." And then she was like, "Not from inside the toilet." She was like, "From the back of the toilet." And so this motherfucker get the damn thing, and she was like, "Don't look." And she tilted her head back. He started pouring that water. And she fucking fell down and ripped the whole thing. That shit was funny as fuck, man.
Yeah, man.
But but my favorite part is when they was in the car, man, and he was just sitting there asking her. She said, "Hey, just because we ain't a mountain or nothing, we still better than these people, right?" He said, "No."
He said, "Nope."
Oh man, that was so funny. But I like how when she was throwing herself at Bobby Long, though, man, that shit was fucking hilarious. This bitch threw a whole bunch of Tic Tacs in her mouth. And then she was sitting up and she was like fixing her titties and shit. And there was a girl staring right at her. She was sitting up propping her titties up and shit. And then as soon as she walked up to Bobby Long, she spit out all the damn Tic Tacs. I I find some of the smallest shit funny, man, because it was just like she had did that shit, and then she done popped all them damn Tic Tacs, and then she walks up to the dude and spit all them bitches out before he turned around.
Yeah.
I thought that shit was fucking hilarious, but
yeah. Well, that's all I got for the movie, man. How about you, bro?
nah, that's it, man. That's all I got, man.
Okay. Well, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. You know what I'm saying? We had to bring y'all 2 movies all at once. You know what I'm saying? This is the double feature episode, first of many. This next one that we got, it's a classic. One of my favorite movies of all time. It didn't make my favorite movie list, but it is definitely one of my favorite of all time. It's probably in my top 10, easily. But my first time ever seeing this movie, I was 10 years old. So,
damn, I don't even know how old I was when I first saw it.
Yeah,
it's a monster joint.
Mm-hmm.
And it came out around the time like there's some other movies that you could get kind of mixed in with them because it was a bunch of them type of movies that come out around the same time,
and they all had the same people.
Same people. They were just mismatching people, but but it's one of those ones, man, where it's inspired by true events, but it's like it's also being told by a person. You never know if the story is fabricated and all this type of shit. You got to shift some shit around, but it's one of those movies, man, where you really get to see the inner workings and the underground shit that happens in a place. Let's say that. And
it's the story of love. It's a story of friendship. It's a story of deceit.
Whoa. Hold on. What love? I remember one person being in love, and I remember one person can get another person to love them back.
Exactly. That's love. I ain't say it was from both people. I ain't say you know who the love coming from. You know what I'm saying? The other person didn't show the love. Well, no, I take that back. Now,
they showed somebody some love.
They both was in love. He was in love with her.
Yes.
She was in love with somebody else.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Yep. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a story of love. It's a story of loyalty, friendship, deceit. It's a story of, you know what I'm saying, just basically a very unruly time in American history. And I just you know what? I'm gonna throw a tester out there because I wonder if people will even know what we talking about if I give them this hint. I'm gonna give them. This is the only time I'm gonna ever do this, and I'm gonna give y'all a hint. And I'm only doing this because you know what I'm saying. Recently, you know what I'm saying, the homeboy Jay-Z, man, his birthday just passed. So in honor of Jay-Z, he said it's too much flossing, too much Sam Rothstein. So if y'all can get it off of that, man. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations. Hit us up, man. Let one of us know on the Twitter, on the social medias, what the movie is going to be. And we'll have it out, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the week for y'all, man. But this next episode is going to be good. This one is, I don't even know if I don't even think we should break the movie down. I think we should just strictly just talk about just the events, just the major events in the movie. Because listen. That was a very different time in history. It was.
It was. That's back when you could do shit certain ways, and it changed the place forever. And they won't let these type motherfuckers do that type of shit anymore, all because of what happened then. Yeah, for real. So. You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep your ears open, man. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. That way you can get the update as soon as the episode drops, man. But you can catch me on Twitter at Scoots Bronson, Instagram, Scoots Bronson _TV.
right now I got some things I'm working on YouTube, so I'm not going to get that out yet because I want you guys to know when it's happening. But you can also check me out at 15 Minutes of Fame, the podcast, and you can also check me out at the Isolated Society podcast. Everywhere where podcasts are available. If you like to listen to Isolated Society live, you can check me out at Spreaker.com/Isolated Society. Make sure you go to that VA Pod Watch group on Facebook. Make sure you join that page. Send your invites in so we can add you guys in. We're trying to get that listenership up. So, yeah, man, we need you guys on that Facebook group.
Yes, sir, man. And also check out the Stolen Time Podcast page on Facebook, Stolen Time Pod on Instagram, S.Foster8 on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out the 28 Minutes or Less podcast. I just dropped one. Subject matter was the industry. I basically got into the Dave Chappelle. I don't even really want to call it a special. When he did the thing Unforgiven, and I talked about the Tiana Taylor situation. So, so go check out that 28th episode of 28 Minutes or Less. So that's all I got, man.
Sweet, man. So thank you guys for listening as usual. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate you guys. Make sure you share it with a friend. Make sure if this is your first time listening, you subscribe. Yeah, I think that's about it, man. And with that said, man, you know how they say in Hollywood, it's a wrap.
Cut.